Hey guys, Mopower here again. Welcome to Dungeon Defender Basics on the Hunter. I'm going to be going over how to spec and gear your class. Most of you will start off, want to probably go DPS with the Hunter. That seems more popular than the trap build. But traps are very useful as well. I'll show you what stats you're going to be looking for. Just like the other classes, you've got 4 to choose from. You've got your trap count, trap damage, trap range, that's how big around the circle is going to be wherever you place your trap, and how quickly it resets. So, there's a few things to keep in mind. You will want a fairly high trap radius, but your two main stats you're going to be looking for are trap damage and detonation count. This will affect how many charges your trap has. Obviously with each upgrade it will keep increasing. So you want to shoot for a fairly high. Normally what I do is I try to keep these fairly close, kind of like the Squire, about 80% of the trap damage normally is a good place to keep it. Then after that, normally I keep these about the same. This gear just happened to have a fairly high range, so this gear is not upgraded. So normally I keep these about the same, which is lower than my trap count. So normally you're running traps with snares, so your trap reset speed's not going to be super critical, but you can also run them with a gas trap. So gas trap will stop anything, wait for it to reset, but you will definitely want to have some into trap reset speed. So that's kind of the basics for speccing your character. If you're wondering about the different traps, check out the other Dungeon Defender Basics video on the Hunter. I talk about the different traps, so feel free to check that out as well. Alright, now for a DPS spec. That seems to be the most popular build. People like shooting stuff, so range DPS is definitely the most popular. For making a DPS character, again, hero damage, hero health isn't quite as important because you're ranged, but you will want some hero health. The three things to watch out for: damage, health, and piercing shot. Don't worry about invisibility. There's really no point in putting points into it. It is nice to have, but you'll get enough points just off your gear to be okay. So piercing shot is going to be increasing the damage of your special, and it all depends. Since the nerf, you can't do piercing shot near as quickly as you used to be able to. But yeah, so what I would do is I would max out these two with as much points as you can, throw the extras into health, it'll be alright. Run speed and casting speed, you normally get enough off gear, so not a big deal. Okay, so weapons. Well, there's a few things you want to watch out for. There are some weapons with a plus projectile. The ones off the top of my head, there's the dragon gun that can have 2 projectiles, so it shoots them off. Not right in front of you, but off to the right and left. Those aren't real popular. The disc guns also shoot right and left. And I think that's pretty much the only ones with multiple projectiles, unless I'm forgetting something. Then you have your area effect guns, like the crystal tracker. Grenade launcher explodes. There's also the version of that, the chicken launcher, things like that. Then you've got the flamethrower types. You've got, there's a poison-based flamethrower, a flame-based flamethrower, and then there's the leaf blower one that you get from Misty Mire, and that's I think that's poison-based as well. But most people tend to use miniguns, assault rifles, and disc guns. Those seem to be the most popular, followed by crystal trackers, depending on the map. So what you're going to be looking for is a pretty decent sized clip, depending on the gun, your shots per second, reload speed, velocity. You also want to have a pretty high base damage as well. Something to keep in mind, even though the miniguns say 10 shots per second, you're not going to get actual 10 shots per second. If you did, then with no gear whatsoever, each shot would do 15,000, but obviously I'd have to completely spec out everything. But there's been tests done, and a minigun will shoot roughly about, I think it's 9.8 shots per second. So, and there's also been posts verified from email and whatnot that that's theoretical shots per second. It's not always going to be 10 shots. The only gun I know of that actually will get 10 shots per second is the assault rifle, the Blasticus skin, like this guy right here. So they will reach 10 shots per second, and that's something else you can upgrade. I believe the shots per second comes up every think it's 5 upgrades. But you're not going to want to spend your points into velocity, reload speed, or clip. Just try to find one with fairly high stats anyway. Reload speed, pretty much anything over 20 is good. As you can see here, it'll reload quicker the sooner you reload. So if you reload at half clip versus letting it get completely empty, it will reload a little quicker. That's something to keep in mind as well. But go for something with some pretty decent base damage. Don't worry about putting points into your elemental damage. The diminishing returns with that and running into immune mobs, just keep it for base damage. So if you have a weapon that you can upgrade your shots per second, if it pops up, put some points into that. But basically it's just damage. The only exception to going pure damage would be if you're a trapper, and in that case you will want to put some points into here. This is actually a DPS weapon I pulled off my other hunter, and just because it had decent tower stats I threw it on her. But as a trapper, you're going to want to be able to kill stuff, ogres and stuff while you're out and about sometimes, so it pays to have some damage. Like I've told you on all my other videos, try to get some damage on your weapon regardless of tower spec. But if you are DPS, do as much damage as you can. So that's pretty much the basics. Feel free to stay tuned, and I'm going to be putting up a video on upgrading gear, stats to look for, as well as upgrading pets. So hope you guys enjoyed.